Joining us now is Michael Bociurkiw. He's a global affairs analyst and the former spokesperson for the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. And CNN military analyst Colonel Cedric Leyton is back with us. Thank you both. Michael, let me start with you and how you see this announcement from the Pentagon changing the equation.
Good to be with you. Well, look, it's a good move. I think it will reassure Ukraine and NATO members. But I have to tell you, Victor, I was watching Russian state television prime time today, and what seems to be happening now is that the Russian-backed fighters, the thugs in eastern Ukraine, are heightening the rhetoric. They're preparing to actually, I think, accept Russian forces into their territory. The reason I say that is they've said they've just deployed more multiple rocket launch systems, more snipers, and again, ratcheting up the rhetoric, saying the Ukrainians, the West, are putting all of this hardware, military hardware, on our borders. They're speaking very loudly. So I think Russia will use this as a pretext to go in, and I think that is part of the three options we usually talk about, which isn't being looked at as carefully as it should by Biden and the West.
And what do you mean by that, Michael?
Well, look, I think it sends a chill down my back, trust me to say this, but I think this is the option Putin may choose because he knows he will get away with it. I hate to say it, and respectfully to Ukrainian friends and to the president, I think the Donbass is so bombed out. I mean, it's one of the most mined areas in the world, according to UNICEF, that it's probably regarded more so by the West as a territory that is dispensable. And of course, that isn't the case. It's a bad precedent to give away sovereign territory like that. But I'm seeing, look, the other sign we're seeing right now, which is very ominous, the group I used to work for, the OSCE, had a lot of monitors in that part of Ukraine, occupied territories, and they've been blocked on a daily basis right now. So the only thing I can see happening right now is they're blocking them in order to bring in all of this heavy weaponry. And then finally, Putin has been giving out hundreds of thousands of Russian passports to pro-Russian residents of the Donbass. Now he has even a further pretext to go in and say they need to be protected.
Colonel, we've heard from the White House that they say that we're conveying very clearly that now is the time to leave, telling American citizens they should leave Ukraine, drawing down their diplomats at the embassy in Kyiv. Some of these, if these troops are deployed, they could be used to evacuate Americans from Ukraine. How much of what we're seeing, even this elevated exchange with European allies, is influenced by what we watched in the summer from the evacuation and of Afghanistan? The decisions we're making, they're trying to avoid that in and around that region.
Oh, Victor, I think there's quite a bit that's, kind of served as a template, if you will, a bad template for how not to do things when it came to the evacuation out of Afghanistan. So the Biden administration is, they know that they had a logistical success getting out of Kabul, and that was in terms of the volume of people and those kinds of things, but a political disaster. And that was the big issue, I think, with that. And so they want to avoid any type of disaster should there be need to evacuate anybody out of Kyiv or any other part of Ukraine. When they look at these things from a planning perspective, Victor, what they're trying to do is they're trying to minimize risk. They're trying to put forces in place before they're actually needed. So this is the first move in that kind of a calculation.
Michael, just so I understand what you were saying, given what's happening in the Donbass region, are you saying that you believe that now it is a fait accompli and that Putin will use this latest announcement as a provocation, whether or not it's just protective or not? He will use it as a provocation, and that he will now go into Ukraine. And is there anything that can change? If that's true, is there anything that can change the course of this?
Yeah, I believe that's the case. I think it's been over the past few weeks where Putin has been quite concerned about the buildup of Western military muscle, Western advisors, that sort of thing. So he's looking at one of several options in terms of how to push the West back. Going officially into the Donbass, into the occupied territories, would be the easiest for them. I know from being there, I've seen the rebels myself, and I've seen Russians there in service military uniforms as well, that Yeah, they're already there, and it would be easy for them to, officially take over that part of Ukraine. The other thing is, the West does not have as big of as a buildup of armaments and of personnel as it should on that so-called front line. So it might take them some time to respond to this type of provocation. One more thing, Alisyn, if I can. We also have to remember that there is a war going on right now. I'm not only talking about Crimea and the Donbass, but the hybrid war. Just in the past few days, there have been massive false bomb threats phoned into Ukrainian schools, to Ukrainian Kiev subway stations, and also just today to Zaporizhia. So there's a lot going on that is working to destabilize Ukraine, working to destabilize the Zelensky administration. We have a lot of different factors at play right now that should give the West a lot of concern.
All right, Michael Bociurkiw and Colonel Cedric Leyton, thank you both.
You bet.
Pleasure.